Authorities in France have announced the arrest of 2 suspects in connection with last week's jewelry heist at the Louvre Museum in Paris. Thieves broke into the museum shortly after it opened last Sunday. They used a freight lift to access the floor housing France's crown jewels. They included treasures from the Napoleonic era with an estimated value of 88 million euros.
On the 19th of October, burglars disguised as maintenance workers took advantage of a blind spot in the museum's outdoor security surveillance to break in during opening hours. They made off with 88 million euros worth of jewellery, including an emerald and diamond necklace Napoleon Bonaparte gave his wife, Empress Marie-Louise. But the thieves couldn't evade dozens of other public and private security cameras scattered around Paris. The capital's head public prosecutor says that, and dozens of fingerprints and DNA samples left at the scene, enabled an expert team of 100 investigators to track down the suspected perpetrators. And just in the nick of time. The prosecutor said one of the 2 men arrested on Saturday evening was about to leave the country on a plane bound for Algeria when police swooped in. It's not been revealed whether he was carrying any jewels.
Since they're not made of metal, you can put all your jewels in your socks and walk through airports without ever setting off the security alarm.
French media say the pair are both about 30, come from the capital's deprived northern Saint-Saint-Denis suburb and were already known to police. The public welcomed news of the arrests, but the question on everyone's lips, where is the loot?
I think the main thing now is whether they can recover the jewels. That's what really matters. As for the legal side, I don't know what's going to happen to them. That's another story.
The brazen theft has catapulted France's dusty crown jewels to global fame and sparked a debate about the security of cultural institutions. France's culture minister has requested findings from an investigation into the Louvre's security in the next few days and says she will then announce concrete measures to secure the museum. Meanwhile, Parisian police can hold the 2 suspects in custody for up to 96 hours. And they're still looking for 2 alleged accomplices.
Arthur Brand is a leading art crime investigator. He gave me his reaction to the arrests in Paris.
It's great news, of course, that within a week these 2 suspects have been caught. I already suspected it because DNA was left at the scene. We heard about that 3 days ago, that the French police had found DNA. And these thieves, you don't wake up in the morning thinking, I become a thief, let's start with the Louvre. These 2 guys have made heists before. So we already suspected that DNA must be in some system. But they did it in a week, and that's it's quite a success to have them in 6 days,
Yeah, and so your assessment is that the French police are handling this case pretty well so far in terms of tracking down the suspects and so on.
Yes, they did an amazing job. These people lay low. They were probably hiding somewhere. But through their DNA, the police managed to track them. I think they already tracked them before the arrest yesterday evening, maybe 2-3 days before. They were following these 2 men, trying to see if they could bring them to the jewels. One of them was about to take a plane to Algeria, so they had to arrest him. But I think the French police did a good job. And you have to be quick in these cases because the thieves want to dismantle these objects, to take out the diamonds, try to sell it. So the sooner they got caught, the better.
Now, how likely is it that these arrests will lead investigators to the stolen items?
It depends on the 2 persons in custody. If they have done it, they are still suspects. But if they have done it, they should tell the police where these diamonds are. And in most cases, criminals, these hardened criminals, refuse to talk. We had a big case in the Netherlands. A very important Romanian helmet was stolen last year. Three suspects are in custody for already half a year, and they refuse to tell where this helmet is. So hopefully they will talk. Hopefully they will understand that if they now tell where all these crowns and bracelets are, that the punishment will be lower. They will get maybe 3 years less if they now tell where all these stolen objects are.
Arthur, I know it's probably very hard to know, but any sense that the stolen objects might still be intact in their original condition? How do thieves in the past deal with the precious objects that they have? Do they try to break it down as soon as possible?
Yeah, they try to break it down, but not within a week. In the first week, they are very suspicious because they know the police is on a hunt. They know that they are probably already a suspect because the police has a list of people who have done kind of these heists before. So they lay low for a week. They don't want their neighbors, other criminals to know that they were behind it. So I think that the police caught them right in time, that the diamonds, all these pieces, are still intact. And they just didn't have the time to smuggle it out of the country, to dismantle them, to sell them. So we might hear, if these two persons will talk, we might hear within a week that the pieces have been recovered.
Now, you touched on this a little bit earlier, but four robbers pulled off this heist. You believe there must be a bigger organization behind them to carry out a theft of this scale. You don't just wake up, like you said, and decide to loot the Louvre. Talk a little bit more about that.
Well, we have 4 persons who are suspects. We saw four persons entering the Louvre, but normally there are more people around it. Getaway cars, people who steal cars for them, people who will try to dismantle these objects, will try to sell them. So I think there are at least 7, maybe 10 people involved. But the idea that this was on commission, that some rich collector wanted to have these pieces, that's we see just in Hollywood movies. They don't exist. They really stole these precious French crown jewels just to dismantle them and selling the diamonds piece by piece, maybe reshape them a little bit. And that was their plan. But I think the police was right in time to prevent that.
Arthur Brand, art crime investigator, thank you very much.